Hey everybody, what's going on? Rob Cesternino back for Claim to Fame Season 3, Episode 6. As we are getting down to it, nobody ever guesses anything right on this show, and somebody is going to win. And we are so excited to be back here with the world's most knowledgeable Claim to Fame expert. It's Jenny Autumn. Jenny, how are you?
Rob, I'm excellent. I took very extensive notes for this podcast, and then I was so afraid of losing those notes that I blended them up in the blender, and I drank
Yes.
I drank the
Oh my
notes
God.
so that I'm filled with the information that I learned from this episode. So
Be careful, because as Franklin will tell you, I think that could be Constipation Station. Wanted to get the quote right.
that's not a station I ever want to visit. I've had a recent
Constipation
conversation.
Station, my favorite Schoolhouse Rock, also.
That's a banger. Yeah, I recently had the conversation of like what's worse, constipation or, the extreme other direction. And
Okay, yes.
I feel very strongly on this topic.
Yes, okay, well,
I
what's,
I would much
stopping
rather
or going?
I would rather veer far away from the constipation station. I feel like if anyone has ever experienced it, real ones know.
Okay.
Real ones know. Anyway,
All right.
So hopefully I'll be okay. Eating paper, it's probably not good for you.
Yeah, not ideal. Okay, so but you would think there's fiber in the paper. I don't know. But yeah, right? Paper is fiber. You take fiber to go to the bathroom, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it's the
Isn't
same.
it the same?
As the
It's
fiber.
not the same. Okay.
I don't know. I'll have to look into that further.
Okay, we'll
Maybe
we'll
Adam will tell
investigate,
us.
and maybe some of our medical correspondents can weigh in. And so it was an all-time claim to fame moment for sure. But Jerry, we're down to the final four after Danny leaves. Again, another wrong guess. The only person to get a guess correctly the whole season has been Adam, of all people. And
wild.
Really, I don't know how this final four is going to shake out. I feel like any of them could be the winner, and any of them could go home next.
Yeah, we're at a point though where it just depends on like what they learned from the clues that were gathered in this challenge here. But you're right, like there's lots of really wrong guesses. And I don't feel super strongly that any of the ones left know a lot. I actually feel like HUD might be in the best situation here. Maybe
we could do power rankings at the end of this.
We should definitely do. But yeah, we don't know how the end game is going to look. I feel like the season just started, but Franklin said it himself that the finale is right around the corner. So I think we're hitting 8 episodes max based on what I have been looking into online.
Yeah, so I know there were some that were saying that this could be a 10 episode season like the previous ones, but it has never felt like that to me. And so we are after episode 6. Franklin says the finale is around the corner, with there only being one clue left in the wine cellar. I feel like we have like one normal episode and then the finale.
Yeah, and I think that's the case. I think that we've got, because from what I found online, there's like descriptions up to episode 7, and then the description of episode 7 basically says like right before the finale, so it really does seem episode 8 should be the end. And it's very bizarre. There's lots of information out there, but it just seems that the people don't know what to do with it. They haven't figured it out.
And I don't mind an 8 episode claim to fame season in terms of like, I'm sure it's hard to stretch, to 10 episodes and do clues over and over again. And not everybody has like another clue that you could reveal every single week. But if you're going to only give us 8 episodes, can we get 2 claim to fames a year? You're telling me we can find what, 32 masked singers every year?
And it's not like they've found relatives that know a lot about pop culture. Like this season in particular, I've loved the cast. They've been very entertaining. They've made for good television.
Yeah.
They seem to be playing hard, but I just feel like this cast compared to the last two, you know, maybe it's that things are harder than I thought, but I feel like no one has the breadth of knowledge that maybe the
Hmm.
previous seasons had in terms of guessing, or I don't know if maybe people are just doing a better job of throwing people off, or maybe they've added more red herrings into the mix with the clues. I just It's bizarre to me how wrong everyone has been. Even Naomi, who we was like highly regarded as like the one to beat. She was the one who knew a lot about everything. She was putting a lot of clues together. It turns out that she wasn't even really right. She had HUD's clue and thought she had figured it out, and she didn't even have the right
No.
information. So she could have even been eliminated with an incorrect guess. That is absolutely bananas to me.
Hmm.
So I feel like they've got to have enough connections to celebrities with some relatives. If you want to keep it short and tight, let's do 2 a year. Come on.
Come on. Yeah. So
Come on,
shout
Jonas's.
out to our brand new friends, Olivia and Hugo,
Oh
who
yeah.
joined us for a special bonus pod on Friday. So if you want to get some claim to fame insight, I mean, Jenny, I have a million questions on like how the show works. And so I'm
So
glad we
many.
were able to get some of those answers with Olivia and Hugo.
Yeah, they were fantastic. If you're not caught up on that interview we did with Hugo and Olivia, definitely check it out. I felt like we could have talked to them for like another hour at least, because I felt like they had so much to say about the show, and I feel like there's still so many questions that I have. So I know I really want it, because I thought, well, maybe with the way that the show was, like how this season was playing out, and how a lot of people were getting eliminated, that they decided to like tighten it up. But then I'm like, no, I keep remembering they had to have known going into the season that they were going to have it be shorter, because of the double boot being the second
Yeah.
week. You know what I mean? Like I still don't really understand why. Maybe if it was like it was going to be 8 or 10, they maybe lost. I still think they lost a cast member like last minute, because the uneven number seemed strange. So maybe they're like, okay, well, now if it's not going to be 10 episodes, we don't want it to be 9 episodes, so we're going to shorten it to 8 and do a double boot.
Yeah.
I don't
Hard to
know.
say.
But I'm very curious about why that, because I just felt like we sped into. I really wish that the early season kind of dragged out a little bit more, because you get to this point and it's like, I'm not complaining. Listen, any claim to fame is good claim to fame, and I'm having a great time. And they're editing the episodes to have some intrigue, even for you and I, who I feel like have figured out who pretty much everyone is. But I wish
We
that they had.
think.
We think I feel pretty confident at this point, Rob. But
Yeah.
I just wish that they didn't do that double boot, because I
Yeah.
just think
Well,
that the early stages, when everyone's still trying to figure things out, that's when you can do a lot more. And at this point, we're just kind of waiting to see who wins challenges, because that kind of comes down to who's getting the information that'll help them at this
yeah.
point. Whether it'll help
Okay.
them or not, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, who's to say whether maybe the show asked for less episodes because it's hard to string it out, or if the network
Yeah.
said, okay, we'll bring you back, but this time we're giving you 8 episodes instead of 10. So maybe we'll get that
Mhm.
answer at some point down the road.
But speed up
But
like the end game a little bit. That's what I'm saying. It's like I don't know why we needed to
mhm,
like double.
yeah,
We could have like I would have liked another week for us to figure out. We had no idea about John Stamos. Like we didn't
yeah.
know anything about Jill. That kind of like that just happened so quickly. I would have loved for them to just speed up the end game, but it's fine. It's fine.
Okay. Let's talk about our headline tonight. Danny ends up going home. It was an incorrect guess that he made of Blake Shelton. We have been very confident that was not the right answer.
Yes, I think. But to Shane and Danny's defense here, slightly, uh, I don't think it's a crazy guess given the information that they have. What I think happened here, though, because it's true, there are not that many country singers that are 6'6", and or very tall.
Yeah.
Maybe not
Probably
exactly
not a lot of any
6'6".
singers that are 6'6".
Exactly, right? And Blake Shelton is a tall man.
How tall is Blake Shelton?
I wouldn't be shocked, Rob, if he is 6'6".
Let's see. How tall is Blake? Blake Lively? No, 6'5". Sorry.
Okay. Close enough, though. I don't blame them for that. But what I do blame them for is neither of them seem to be able to figure out the second half of the clue. And unless there was stuff that they just kept out, I feel like they gave up on the second half of the clue and just said, hey, there's a very, very tall, possibly 6'6" country singer, Blake Shelton, and there's a microphone on the clue wall. And that was it.
Yeah. It's a monkey house, which, you know,
I was stuck on that too.
Not totally inaccurate description of the Celebrity Apprentice.
Yeah, exactly.
It was often at times a bit of a monkey house.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't believe any feces was thrown, but it got close.
Yes, I wouldn't be surprised.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I just feel like they could have maybe done a little bit more to try to figure out that second half of the clue, which makes me wonder how much Mackenzie's big play of, you know, trying to figure out who they were going to guess and putting on the act of, because that it seemed like that did work, and they stopped thinking about it further. And they're like, okay, she basically confirmed it's Blake Shelton, so that's what we're gonna do if we can't figure out Adam. Or maybe they spent so much time trying to figure out Adam that they like just fell back to that. I don't know.
Well, we've had so many like swerves and like last second twists in this season of Claim to Fame, and I feel like that you'd get this in The Genius too. Like I felt like this one was a little bit more that they forced this big reveal. I don't even know if they needed it. Like I felt like that in the real time, I felt like that Mackenzie seemed like that was a bluff when she was like, "Oh my God, I could throw up right now." Usually, if anybody on Claim to Fame tells you, like, "Oh my God, I'm freaking out right now," then you know you are wrong. As we saw with Naomi when Molly Ringwald came out, she's like,
I wish.
Doesn't do anything. Yeah. Doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I guess they wanted something for the viewers that, because yes, you and I and the faithful listeners of the podcast feel like very strongly that we have figured out who Mackenzie's relative is. But the editing of the episode, that's not very clearly revealed if you don't know, if you haven't figured out the clue yourself. And so it's fun. The fun, way to edit this is maybe we think that it could be Blake Shelton, that this guess could have been correct. Like, give us some sort of cliffhanger excitement at the end of this episode. But for me, when I'm like, it's not, I'm watching this the entire time with knowing that it's not. It's one of those things where I'm like, I feel like the behavior is very obvious because I know that that's what she's probably doing. But maybe it hits differently if you don't have that knowledge, if you're not looking to see if it's like obvious. But I feel like Shane should be thinking like, okay, is she trying to throw me off here? Like judging the reaction. But again, I think that maybe what happened here is there was a fixation on trying to get Adam.
Right.
And that took a lot of time in the final hours when they maybe should have been trying to like confirm for sure that it was Blake Shelton. But I think that the two guys, they're just like, okay, well, we got this in our pocket if we need it, even though what was their interpretation of the second half of the clue?
Was there another move for Danny? Could he have done something else other than go for Mackenzie?
Sadly, I I think that Danny was kind of screwed no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if, and the other thing that didn't get answered but through this episode was, um, does Danny does Danny still think at this point? Because I know early in the
He is the
episode they
world's
say
greatest detective, other than
he
Batman.
is. You know what? I love him. I really, really
Mhm.
enjoyed him. After last episode, I knew that he was probably screwed. So, whether he was going to get correctly guessed or end up in this position, but it's fine. I know that early on in the episode, HUD is saying, okay, they still think that I took Adam's clue. Um, but was there any point through the episode that Shane, because Mackenzie, Adam, and HUD were all in on the fact that they took Danny's clue last week and not Adam's.
Mhm.
Did that ever potentially make its way back to Danny and Shane, or are they completely in the dark here? Because I just don't really know what other plays there could have been. Because like, did Danny think that his clue had, who did he think HUD took this week is the question, right? Because if he
Yes.
thinks that he took that him and Adam took Adam's clue last week, then he should think the only two clues that are left in the wine room are Danny and Shane. So
Mhm.
don't you think that like Danny would have had a conversation with HUD and been like, did you pick mine or did you pick Shane's? And maybe he said, I picked yours because he did have it and just did the reversal of the week. And Danny's just thinking, you know what? Best position for me is to be guessing because then I'm not getting guessed. And if HUD has information, he could be giving it to other people. I don't know. Do you think that he could have done anything here besides spend more time with the
No,
clue?
I mean, for Danny, that nobody had Shane's clue. They don't know anything about Shane.
Yeah.
He went after Mackenzie. Nobody knows Adam, and I think nobody knows HUD. I don't think.
Well, this
Maybe
is what,
Mackenzie does, but HUD, that
yeah.
right?
Well, no, I don't know that she does she because she got her own clue. We get the flashback.
She got her
later
own
in the
clue. I think I
episode
assumed that she
her
had
own
the HUD's
clue.
clue at that point. So yeah, so maybe nobody
Yeah.
knows HUD.
Or did Adam
and
know HUD?
No, well, Adam at the end of the episode seemed to think that that he knows. He implied he knows who Mackenzie's person is at the end of the
Right.
episode.
Oh no, but you know what?
What?
Adam does know HUD, or he thinks he knows HUD, because in the challenge, the one round that Adam won, he got the clue that it was very clearly for HUD.
Yes, but again, that Adam may have like legitimately. He thought Little Richard. He thought believe he was an Owen Wilson truther.
Yeah.
So if he says he knows,
But he knows music.
That's true. We'll see.
I'm
we'll
gonna
see.
give Adam some credit here. He might know HUD, and that makes me a little worried. He thinks he knows HUD.
He did
based
say
on
Mark
that clue.
Anthony last week. Okay.
And
All
but
right,
he mentioned in that, well, okay, we'll get to it, but in that clue that he gets, it says small town in quotations. And Adam referenced that in his confessional about saying, I know who HUD is. So that makes me think he does actually understand the clue. But again, time will tell. But he is at least the one person that is saying they know HUD at this point.
Yeah. So let's then talk about Danny's reveal. Mark Anthony, the Latin singer, who is the greatest salsa singer ever.
Here's the thing. He is legitimately famous. I would say he's not as big in like mainstream North American music, like pop music, the way that he kind of rose to be in the 90s and early 2000s, I would say, which is when I was more familiar with him. But like Danny says, he's still performing. He was on tour at the time. Maybe that's why we didn't get a video.
Oh,
he's too busy for a video.
About the video.
Yeah, I know. We haven't. Well, I mean, we know why we didn't get one last week.
2 in a row. Yeah.
But I believe Mark Anthony is alive and could have done a video, but perhaps was just too busy.
So we were talking a little bit about the edit, and maybe did they really try to force in sort of like this big shocking moment? But I have to say, the reaction to that Danny's relative was Mark Anthony seemed so over the top. People were going berserko.
Well, I feel like the Jonases were going berserko, and that is maybe like
Do
I
they
don't
love
know.
Mark Anthony?
Maybe they do. Maybe they
It's one of the
apparently they
biggest
don't have the
reactions
information.
I think I've ever seen on this
Yeah.
show to the celebrity reveal.
Yeah, you're right. No, it definitely was it was a big reaction. But if Shane didn't know, which I assume Shane didn't know,
Hmm.
and the Jonases didn't know. Those are like some loud voices in the room. I feel
Yes,
like that
surprise.
alone. But also they probably like HUD and Adam and Mackenzie probably don't want Shane to know that it wasn't a surprise to
Yeah.
them. And maybe they overacted, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, Jenny, how about then after Danny got revealed, he says, like, oh, okay, tell us Blake Shelton. It's like, well, I got Mackenzie's clue, 6'6", country singer. So went with Blake Shelton, really just blew up Mackenzie.
Not much more than I mean, I do you not think that maybe HUD and Adam knew the 6'6" country star part because even Mackenzie knew that that was part of her clue because right after Shane got it, I don't know if you remember the
Mm-hmm.
scene where Mackenzie stops him and says, "Did you pick mine?" And he said, "Yeah." And then she said, "Did you figure it out?" And he's like, I know what it means. I just have to I have to figure out the name or something like
He
that.
plays
And
it
then she's like,
coy.
"Okay." But then he says it was the 6'6" part that gave it away.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she at least knew that that was part of the clue. So
But
that
did
part
Adam
isn't
know?
like
Because Adam
he
is
might
trying to
have.
tell us that, oh, 6'6" country. Oh, I know exactly what
Yeah,
it
that's
is.
true. Here's the thing, of all people to be in the dark, I could definitely see it being Adam, like but I think that it's possible that HUD knew, because HUD's kind of
Mm-hmm.
like he's kind of been like a floater
Yeah.
because he's been in with Adam and Mackenzie, obviously, like working together to try to split up Danny and Shane, but he's also been like hanging out, talking to Shannon Danny, a lot, and then Shannon Danny? Is that what I said? Shane and Danny.
That's their ship name.
Shannon, yeah. Pick
The
whatever
alliance
one you
name.
want, Danny or Shan.
Shaney.
Um, and you know, kind of been working with them to get rid of Adam. So I feel like HUD could have lots of information from both sides here. I wouldn't be shocked if HUD already knew that information. But yes, it's very possible that Adam didn't know, and he knows music. So now that like I think that that's his area.
Mm-hmm. His area of
So
focus, for sure.
yeah.
Let's go back to the beginning of the episode and talk it all through. Okay, so we saw where Mackenzie is talking to Adam early on. She is saying how they need Shane's clue. She says she compares it to Harry Potter. She says it's like we need the fire. Jenny, did this mean anything to you? Could you explain this to me? Not a
Rob, you
Potterhead.
are asking the wrong millennial because let me
Mm,
tell you a fun little Jenny Autumn fact. I have not watched or read
oh,
a single second or word
wow.
of any Harry Potter. It is pretty unheard of for my generation. Um and so I would have
Yeah.
been Adam in this scenario. I believe Adam is like 3 years older than me maybe. I think he's like old the oldest end of the millennial,
Exennial. Yeah.
yeah. So, he could know, but
Let me
I
ask
certainly
Sam in
have
the chat, in the
yes.
private chat. Sam, did this mean something to you?
There's something about 2
The
people having fire or something, I don't know. I know the, like, names of all of
Because
the
she would
books
have
and
his clue, and then if they got Shane's, Shane has her clue, so they would be able to sort of like it would be a stalemate.
yeah. Here's the thing, it makes sense to somebody, but that person is not Adam, and it was probably the most relatable that Adam has personally been to me through this entire process because he was just kind of smiling and nodding and I was doing the exact same
Yeah.
thing. I was like, I get you, brother.
There was a very funny moment where HUD is talking with Danny. I think Shane was there also. They go down by the pool. HUD does not want to take his socks off by the pool.
So he's not wearing his socks in the pool, which is what I thought that he was maybe saying
I think
at
that
first.
he did say that his
Did
feet
he
are cold
say
and he's
in the
wearing.
pool?
We both thought he said in the pool.
Okay, so it seems that isn't what he actually ended up doing. But the idea of wearing the socks into the pool, especially if you're cold, does not make any sense because there's nothing worse. Like
Yeah,
in terms of
it's
nothing
like something
will, like,
Amelia
deregulate.
Bedelia would do.
Sure. I just feel like, have you ever, a wet sock is like one of the worst sensory experiences. And I think that is the sort of thing that would make your whole body cold.
Mm-hmm.
So if his feetsies were cold and he went into the pool with socks on, I really think that that's like the surefire way to make your whole body cold and uncomfortable. But I think that what he meant is he just wanted to be by the pool in his socks, and maybe that's like a pool faux pas or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anyway, HUD is then talking with the guys, and that he forgets the lie that he told them that Adam pulled his own clue, and they're talking about pulling Adam's clue now. And they're like, wait, I thought Adam already pulled his clue. He's like, oh, yeah, you're right. I don't know why I said that.
HUD, who I feel like is normally like pretty smart and on the ball,
with
like
it.
just
It
had
must
this
have
moment
been
where he's
that
like,
cold,
oh, I
Jenny.
forgot. Yeah.
His feet must have been so cold.
That's why you can't talk strategy when your feetsies are cold, okay? There's a direct line from the feetsies to your brainsies, and, it can short circuit.
It's been the downfall of many a survivor.
Exactly.
Yes.
Which is why the socks are important.
Okay. Jenny, so let's talk about what happened in the competition. I like this game. I thought this was pretty fun.
I thought it was fun.
Yeah, I wish we could have got like Charlie Day in there somewhere to connect all these conspiracies.
There should have been like a Charlie Day like clue, because they had lots of like fake people, or not fake people, but like, red herring, incorrect guesses and stuff like that to make the game a little bit more interesting. That would have been a fun little reference to have like Charlie Day somewhere.
Yeah, would have been fun, but ultimately that's not what we get. Everybody's running around, and so we don't necessarily need to go through all of like every line to get there, but the first clue ends up being about how Henry Cavill played this person, and it was Superman. Now we get, I think, maybe the final piece to confirm something I had been saying last week on the podcast was that if there was anything Superman, I think that this is lock it up for Marlon Brando.
Yes. I mean, Rob, you made so many compelling points in the last podcast that I was already convinced. But yeah, this is lock it up. Now, the problem is the reference to the original Superman, because we hear HUD, he's like, I know superhero stuff. That's why he gets this last question and ultimately wins the clue. He says, I don't know the old Superman.
Yeah.
So this might not even necessarily help him.
Doesn't help
at least not at first.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, is like,
but it confirms for us.
It confirms for us. And if we haven't really heard anyone talking about who Shane could be in a while, I feel. They're just like, he's untouchable. Like, why they're just so distracted by trying to get rid of Adam? Like, is that the thing where Adam just becomes such a distraction for people?
But
that,
the problem is, though, that they're untouchable until they're not, Jenny. That it's like we could then get like HUD in the guess off, and then like I'm gonna guess Shane, and then it's like you're Marlon Brando, and it's like what? It's like back on day one, I looked at the clue wall and realized like so
look at the people left though, Rob. Like, okay, if HUD doesn't know, and he at least knows like superhero lore, but it specifically has said he doesn't know that particular movie. Mackenzie, I feel like is 20 years old, maybe. Doesn't seem to be her area of expertise. I want to say, because Adam, I think, is like 40 or
Mhm.
close to 40.
Yeah.
He at least could know Marlon Brando and Marlon Brando's work and put this together. But is anyone going to give information to Adam to get his help when they all want him
Yeah.
out? And that's why I feel like he's like become this foil that's kind of helping people like Shane, because everyone else is kind of just focused on getting rid of him, that
Yeah.
Shane continues to go undetected.
Yeah. That being said, Adam did say I love the smell of napalm in the morning. So I feel
Right.
like that Adam could win.
Rob, I've been saying like I feel like after this episode,
Yeah.
it's
Is he
still
number one
like
in the power rankings,
he
Jenny?
might be. I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to talk it through. But there are many reasons why I can absolutely see it happening. The problem is that like in the final 2 episodes that I think we've got coming up,
Yeah.
some of those, if you recall, some of those late game challenges will come out with some very revealing information. Like, do you remember like Logan? I can't remember exactly what they said about Logan in that one of those final challenges, but he got so screwed. It was like
Yeah.
it was like the truth or dare one, and he like couldn't do the dare or something, and then so the truth that came out about him was like pretty much locked it up.
Mhm.
So that's why it's kind of hard to guess who could win this particular show, because it comes down to who ends up winning a challenge in a guessing situation. And some of those like last few challenges, you can get a lot of really obvious information.
Yeah.
So
But the other part, Jenny, is that don't forget, like, there's the social game. And so when the other players
true.
come back, like, how many people are
Assuming that's
helping Adam?
yeah.
No
And that's what
one.
I've been saying. That's what I've been saying. I'm like, I don't think that anyone is going to, because they've been so frustrated about him kind of, you know, piggybacking on their information
Yeah.
and using them for information, not contributing any of his own the entire season. Think about how many people. Imagine we get to the final 3 or the final 2, and there has still not only been one successful guess, and it was the one that Adam did
He's
with
got a good
HUD
final
help.
jury speech, the final tribal council. Like, I'm the only person that got any guesses right this season, so you got to give it to me.
Like, people will
But
be so mad. They will not help him.
I have a feeling Naomi is dragging him through the mud at
Oh, yeah.
Ponderosa.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Like,
I think they're
how
sequestered.
mad?
I don't think
Do
they
you
let
think she's
them,
Yeah, I don't think that I don't
because then
think
they
that
would share all
they're
the info when they're with
Yeah,
each other.
people need to come back. Oh, that's a good question if we get to talk to any more people. We should.
Yeah.
But that I assume that they have been sequestered
I think
so
they
that
are.
people are coming back with only the information that they had at the point that they left the game.
Yeah. Okay. Second round, we get ultimately Shane gets the clue, gets the point here. After HUD doesn't know what Kelly Clarkson looks like. Come on, HUD.
Yeah. That's kind of crazy.
Mhm.
HUD second guesses himself a couple times. And it was tough to watch. I mean, it doesn't end up really changing things for him, but he could have gotten this clue.
Yeah.
And the wild thing about this is so Shane gets the clue, which is clearly Adam's clue.
Yes.
And at this stage, Shane still thinks that Adam is related to an actor.
Mm-hmm.
And so he reads this clue and is like, this is Mackenzie's clue. Because it was like the clue was like, this love ballad specialist gave Kelly Clarkson a true fangirl moment when he surprised her by singing a duet with her on her talk show.
And most love ballads are country songs, so therefore it's Mackenzie.
And this is a perfect example of just, what is this, confirmation bias?
Yes.
Where it's like he's thinking he's looking for more information on the stuff that he has already. And he's like, country singers sing love ballads. I wouldn't call country songs ballads. Like, it's kind of a different, I don't know. When I think of ballad, I think of, I don't know, like a like a contemporary pop like love song. I don't necessarily think country.
This seems like a pretty niche moment in pop culture history.
Rob, everyone knows when Michael Bolton was on the Kelly Clarkson show. I have no idea how is anyone supposed to know this?
I think it's all about the love ballad specialist. I think that's it. That's all you're getting from this.
Is that what you would call Michael Bolton, Rob?
He's a love ballad specialist. Tell me, does he, Jenny? I'll give you the Michael Bolton greatest hits. Tell me one song that's not about love.
But specialist?
Yeah, I mean that's Michael Bolton. He doesn't have one song about another subject, Jenny.
But the reference, I just felt like the connection to the Kelly Clarkson thing.
Yeah.
Like it made me feel like they didn't have any other ideas on how they could like set up his clues because I just feel like that's such a random connection.
Yeah. I will say Michael Bolton has a couple of covers that are not like Sitting on the Dock of the Bay and Georgia on My Mind that are not necessarily love songs. But I mean, his greatest hits are, Soul Provider, How Am I Supposed to Live Without You? How Can We Be Lovers When We Can't Be Friends? Time, Love, and Tenderness, When a Man Loves a Woman, Missing You Now.
Said I loved you.
Steel Bars,
but I lied.
Lean On. Yeah, said I love you. Like,
no, it's true. I just think that there are also like, but that you put that together when you think of like, oh, what are like some Michael Bolton songs, and then you see all of them in front of you and how much there are like love songs. But there's lots of other people that sing a lot of love ballads that I just feel like, it's the second part of it where it's like, oh, everyone should know because. Is it a global experience that I'm missing out that a lot of people watch the Kelly Clarkson talk show?
I don't know. We did it on RHAP one time, but that's it.
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe that's a blind spot for me. I just didn't think that was that helpful of a clue.
All right. Mackenzie gets the third clue off of there being, which comes down to her and Adam, that they don't know who sings Work It.
That was crazy to me because I hadn't even seen.
Let me work it.
Because I hadn't even seen Missy Elliott's like face on the board at this point. Because like so I'm playing along, obviously, right, as I'm watching this. So, based on what they had shown, I had seen some of the clues before they were actually guesses, right? I had not seen Missy Elliott's face whatsoever in the what they had shown thus far. But as soon as that like clue was read, I was like, that's Missy Elliott. And then immediately goes to Adam going, oh, I remember seeing Snoop Dogg somewhere. And I'm like, and he said it with such confidence.
If you got a big one, let me search you.
Like, I just don't know. I'm trying to think of like what song does Adam think? Does Snoop Dogg have a song called "Work It"?
I'm not
Does he
unclear.
think that "Work It" by Missy Elliott is actually Snoop Dogg? Do they have similar voices? Like
I think he was just looking for a rap song and saw Snoop Dogg, and then that was it. Okay, all right. So
good thing Mackenzie wins that one though, because I feel like her clue.
Yeah, were you able to zoom in on Mackenzie's clue when she shows it in the flashback?
I wrote it out verbatim when we did the flashback at the end.
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because I
would
saw
you
it.
Like me to
yes, please.
For you.
Please tell me. Well, how does Missy Elliott connect to Trace Adkins?
Okay.
Did Missy Elliott do the Atkins diet?
No. Well, maybe I don't know. I don't know that much about Missy Elliott's life like that. You learn a lot from this song, though. I will say.
This song teaches you a lot. I don't know if there's anything about carbs.
Well, there is like some references about eating.
See my hips and tips, don't you? See my A word and lips, don't you? Lost a few pounds in my waist for you.
Oh,
this is the kind of beat that goes rat-ta-ta-ta.
Oh, yeah. Rob, do you recall that the Wand Off is front of mind right now, as last week you guys did the new era Wand Off.
Michael
back in
Bolton
my
had
Wand Off days,
a cameo.
Yes, exactly. I loved it, and I'm so
Mm-hmm.
glad that he delivered. Um, but Work It was one of the first Wandoff parodies that myself and my friend Colin did.
Oh, okay. What was the
Remember Rourke It?
Rourke? Yes, of course. How could I forget?
How could I
Uh,
forget Rourke It?
yes.
Yes. So this I know this song very well, but the clue is, well, Missy Elliott talked about her gadonk-a-donk-donk, or just gadonk, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
gadonk-a-donk-donk.
Yeah.
This
You
singer,
think you can handle this badonka donk?
but they wrote gadonk-a-donk.
Good now. Badonka
Well,
donk. Take my
that is where
thong
I wanted
off and
to,
my A word go boom.
my
Cut the lights off so you see what I can do.
so
Cut the lights off
that's
so you can see what I do.
interesting. Should we cross-reference, like, different spots for lyrics? Because in this clue, I paused so that I could write this
I don't think it
down,
said
Rob.
tips either when I said tips.
Yeah, I don't think it's tips. I think you
No.
might have, like, maybe
I'm on
is it
like
is it
I'm
saying
on
a word?
I'm saying A word. Am
I
I on
know.
kidsbop
You
dot
might be, yeah,
com?
like the Kids Bop version of Work It. Um, I didn't think it was gadonk, but they wrote ga, like G.
Hmm.
Interesting choice. I'll have to cross reference to find out if Missy Elliott
Okay.
says badonk or
According to
gadonk.
genius.com,
And I
they
trust Genius
say,
because it's crowdsourced.
love the way my A word go bump bump. Keep your
Okay.
eyes on my badumpa bump bump. You think you can handle this? Gadunka dunk dunk.
With a G.
Gadunka dunk dunk.
Okay. Okay. Now she does say badonk in a different spot in the song, but this is confusing. Anyway,
As the
I
drummer boy go, barumpa pum pum. Can you give you some of
some
this
of this
Cinnabon?
Cinnabon. Yeah.
Hmm.
She's a poet.
Cinnabuns are very good. Yeah.
I didn't think it was gadonka dunk dunk, but she does say badonka donk in a different spot in the song, I
Mm-hmm.
thought. Anyway,
Yeah.
the
But what does that
point
have to do
being,
with Trace Adkins?
I will get there, Rob. Are you ready for the second half of the clue?
They
Okay,
dated?
let me start it from the top here. Well, Missy Elliott talked about her gadonka donk donk. This singer talked about a badonka donk that was honky tonk. And
Mm-hmm.
Rob, this was exactly what got me to get on to Trace Adkins. Not the monkey house ice. That was the
Yes.
part that I was struggling with. He has a song called Honky Tonk Badonkadonk.
Honky
So
tonk badonkadonk.
if you've ever heard of that song, I feel like the fact that me, not
Sadly, I
even a
haven't.
country, but I'm not even a country music person. I just got like a kind of an introduction to some of the silly parts of country music. So that's what I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe there is a song called Honky Tonk Badonkadonk. This is ridiculous,
Hmm.
hilarious. That is the only reason I know who Trace Adkins is.
Okay.
Literally. So that
Yeah.
was what gave it away to me, someone who does not have a lot of context for this stuff.
At that
And
honky tonk badonkadonk,
yeah,
keep in perfect rhythm, make you want to swing along, got it going on like Donkey Kong, and ooh-wee, shut my mouth, slap your grandma. There ought to be a law. Get the sheriff on the phone. Lord have mercy. How'd she even get them britches on that honky tonk badonkadonk?
I now just need you like reciting lyrics verbatim.
Remix. Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's the true remix we need is the Work It Honky Tonk
Yeah.
Badonkadonk
Let me say
mashup.
something, Trace Adkins. I don't care about how she got those britches on that honky tonk badonkadonk. I'm not gonna slap my grandma. I would
Yeah.
never do that. I don't care I don't care about anybody's butt that much. I'm
And
not gonna
also,
slap my grandmother.
Trace
Sicko.
Adkins, like, who do you think you are trying to find out how she got britches.
None of your
on.
business, sir.
Stay women's bodies in their business, all right?
You're being creepy.
Yeah, it's giving weird.
Yeah, Mackenzie, your dad is creeping us out.
Sorry, love you, but why? What? I have questions.
Who are you even talking about? There's only one woman on this entire show.
It's kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sick.
So you're sick. So I will say though, with the information that I have in my little brain, this feels like a very revealing clue, and I think that Mackenzie is very, very lucky that she got this, and that it didn't fall into the hands of anyone else. Because I don't think if Shane or Danny found out about this clue, I think maybe they wouldn't have figured out Trace Adkins, but I think that they wouldn't have been confident about Blake Shelton, because unless they really know nothing about country music and they're
also
like,
very
maybe
possible.
it's a Blake Shelton song. I guess maybe, I don't know. It's hard to say, but it's still getting your own clue is like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, great for her.
Okay. Let's talk about round 4. And it ultimately ends up with Madonna. And we get that Madonna and this small town farm boy was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2008. Now, Adam gets this one?
Yes, this is the one. This is HUD's clue, and this is the one that Adam gets. I will give a little criticism. I know I've just sang her praises. Mackenzie, I think Mackenzie got to Cyndi Lauper. Like, I think she would have had an opportunity to go to Madonna.
Yes. Also, though, Jenny, bad job, not just by Mackenzie, but also by the producers of We Are the World, who also selected Cyndi Lauper over Madonna.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
she was right there.
She was literally right there, and they
should
answer for that. But so that's the stuff that makes me like question what Mackenzie knows, because I'm like, did you think that Cyndi Lauper was Madonna? Did you think that, because the Material Girl part, like the reference, like it's, if you've seen Madonna out there and you know who Madonna is, you know that.
In fairness,
again, I'm coming at this with being born in the mid-late 80s, you know?
Madonna looked very different in Mackenzie's like she maybe didn't have a ton of like 80s pictures. Maybe you could easily confuse 80s Madonna with 80s Cyndi Lauper.
I just feel like when you grow up as the child of a famous musician, I would think that you grow up knowing a lot about music and the music industry. And I just feel like that's kind of something that I would expect her to know.
Entirely possible. Also, Mackenzie does not even know that Cyndi Lauper is a thing.
I'm trying to remember if she said Cyndi Lauper or if
the Joe Bros did.
Yeah. So she might have just thought that visually that was Madonna.
Yes. Okay. Now this small town clue.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I feel like that this could take you down some misdirection paths because in my own sort of like addled brain, I'm like, oh, small town. So first I go to just a small town boy. Well, that's Journey.
Right.
Okay, first of all, that's wrong. And then I'm like, no. I was like, I was born in a small town. Wait, that's Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah. No, that's but also John Mellencamp has a song called Small Town.
Okay, I'm sorry. So that is Mellencamp.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I was born
all right.
in
So
a small town.
That's how dumb I am. I'm
no,
like,
it's
wait,
not dumb.
that's not Mellencamp.
But
that's Springsteen.
That's a line of a thought that without Google, people could do. So I understand if you don't have other things to put Mellencamp into your brain, this maybe is not super helpful. But if you know Small Town, if you know that song and you know who it's by, then it is a helpful clue.
Yeah, Bruce Springsteen sings My Hometown, not Small Town.
He sings a lot. It's like he is the singing about towns of like Michael Bolton singing about love.
Yes, he sings a lot about towns.
You know,
I was bruised and battered. Myself.
I love The Boss.
Yeah, Carly is screaming
One
somewhere.
Of the great,
Another Tom Hanks clue.
But yes, I think, and here's the thing. I think that Adam actually does have the tools to do something with this information.
Yep.
So that's why I'm worried. I know it's Adam, but I actually think that he knows enough.
He's a dangerous player right now.
And he's a good enough age that he would know enough about John Mellencamp's discography. He is related to someone in music. I just think that he could fill in the blanks in the way that I don't think Mackenzie could for this particular person.
Okay.
Yeah.
We last got to the actress who starred in Uptown Girls. Now, as a Billy Joel aficionado, I've not seen Uptown Girls. I do not know a lot about the film works of Dakota Fanning. In my mind, Dakota Fanning is a baby. But
yes, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I sometimes forget that she is a grown woman now.
She's a grown woman.
And I also sometimes mix up in my brain Dakota Fanning and Dakota Johnson. Is that a person? Yes.
Now, Uptown Girls is from 2003. So again, I do not necessarily know what Dakota Fanning looks like now.
Yeah. This one I had no idea. I would have been doing the HUD strategy here of go to a woman that you don't recognize, because if you don't know the answer and you don't know who the person is, then that's probably right. I don't know if that's also what Mackenzie was doing.
Yeah. Good for Dakota Fanning. Still working quite a bit.
Yeah. I mean, and I will say so the clue that HUD ultimately gets here, I knew the Denzel Washington part. I didn't know Dakota Fanning was in that movie. I've not seen it. I just knew Denzel was in it.
Yes. Okay. Well,
so it was the Mark Anthony clue.
Yeah, Dakota Fanning at the height of her powers. What is that movie? Man on Fire, 2004.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Wow. What a run for Dakota Fanning, 2003, 2004.
Yeah.
And
I'm surprised I don't know her better.
Is she the third lead in Man on Fire?
Well,
Denzel Washington.
I don't think that Mark Anthony is like the.
Is he on the poster? Is Mark Anthony on the poster?
Ooh, Man on Fire.
Let me see.
Okay,
I'm trying to zoom in.
No, it's
enhance.
Oh wait, Denzel's on the poster, and Dakota is on the poster, and then
yeah, okay.
A teddy bear
with also Christopher Walken also.
Oh.
There. Okay.
Whoa.
So yeah, that Latin superstar ends up. I think also HUD gets this clue, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and I'm not sure if he's familiar with Man on Fire.
And it just confirms what he knows about Danny. I guess. Well, he says that.
Yeah. All right, Jenny. After they go back into the house, can I just ask you? This is like a little bit of a game theory question I had with Claim to Fame, because you and I and Chappelle podcast about Deal or No Deal Island, and there was so much strategy on that show around who gets to go against the banker, and so do I want to win the comp? Or do I want to come in last in the comp? Because then if I come in last, then I get to go up against, maybe I want to just go up against the banker myself. I feel like that part of the strategy, and, of course, you have, if Boston Rob Mariano played on Claim to Fame, that I think that we would have got here sooner. But do you feel like that there is any sort of like emergent strategy of maybe I should try on purpose to lose the challenge because I want to be the guesser?
Well, I think after watching this season,
no, certainly not.
Probably not. I think it really just comes
guessed if I'm not. I have some immunity.
I think that that's where it comes down to your position in the game and what information you have. And I think that the same kind of goes for how we talk about it in Deal or No Deal Island, where like,
Yeah.
Boston Rob's at a certain point where like he's going to get eliminated by people if they win against the banker. So it's better for him to actually play against the banker, have it in his own hands. Now with this, I just think, again, it kind of comes down to, is there someone out there that they have your clue, or like they definitely have like really good information about you and they're probably going to guess you? If putting yourself in the guessing position gives the best chances that you're not going to be guessed, then that's a good thing to do. But if you don't have enough strong information on someone and you don't have reason to believe that anyone has strong information on you, I would probably still be wanting to like avoid the guessing situation.
Yeah, but let's just say like and I'm trying to think of somebody like who would be the right person here. So like let's say you're HUD, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe Adam might know who you are. If you're HUD, would you rather win the competition? You go in the wine cellar, you get Shane's clue, you're safe from the guess off, but you're not safe from being guessed, right? Unless I misunderstand the rules. So
you're not,
if I'm HUD, aren't I better off to then go in and shoot my shot, and I'm going to then say who, like and I'm not sure if he knows somebody, but if I feel pretty good about somebody, aren't I better off being the guesser, and that I can at least protect myself? Okay, maybe I'm wrong, but I think I'd rather have that than if people know who I am, I could get guessed.
I think in HUD's position, if we want to use HUD as the example here, because I understand what you're saying and that makes a lot of sense. I think if we're using HUD as the example here, he still did the right thing, because I don't think that he had any reason to believe that anyone knows him. He could think that maybe Adam got his clue in that challenge. But also having worked with Adam, maybe not thinking he knows what to do with that information. And also, Adam is relying on their relationship at this point in the game. So he might not think he's like looking to strike at him yet. So for him, he needs the only information that HUD for sure has at this point is Danny, who 2 other people also have this information. He needs new information that is just for him. And when you win, you get a wine clue. And I think that the possible information you get is invaluable. And if you don't think that you're like the top choice to be guessed by anyone, then you obviously should just try to win the challenge. Now, maybe the next round, depending on how things are going, that could totally be different. But I think HUD has a lot of reasons to feel pretty safe at this point, because he knows his clue got picked a while ago and that person's gone. So all that they're really getting is these things from the challenge, and it's not super obvious.
So you say these clues are invaluable. Let's see just how much. Now, we didn't really
if you know what to do with them.
We didn't stop down too much on that Adam checked HUD during the challenge. But for HUD, that's it. That was the last straw.
Yeah. I mean, Adam has been on HUD's last nerve for a hot minute here. But he's reluctantly out of necessity been working with him. Obviously, they got paired together last week and then won the challenge and had to get a clue together. I don't know how much of this has been working with him because he actually wants to. It's more like, I don't really have a choice. And he got a little physical, and it was like, there is a race component in the challenge. It's like musical chairs. Well, Adam got a little, he's like, and that's his guy. And Adam
it's like
seems to be bigger.
Jenny. Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
I get it. When you've been living with someone for a while and they've been pissing you off, he's the only person that's gotten any success, and he got it with HUD's help, and then threw him under the bus. Like, I think that HUD of all people has a lot of reason to be really frustrated by Adam. So I understand this where he's like, okay, it's enough.
Let's look at this clue. Okay. Here we go. Let's look at the clue and see. So, okay. Part of it is easy. Long pencil
Long.
hair. Okay. So long hair,
Long hair,
90s
90s
star who
Who?
sings love.
Baseball.
Oh, okay. Ballads. I didn't
Oh,
pause the show, but it's ball and ads.
ball ads.
Ball ads.
Okay.
It'd be incredible if Michael Bolton was doing ball ads.
I was like,
I'm Michael Bolton, and I know a lot about love. And if there's one thing I know, you need your balls. And so
he could be doing like pharmaceutical ads for like something.
that's why
to do with, like,
I'm
your
here to talk
testicles.
about scrotox. If you want to have long, flowing balls like my hair used to be way back when, check out Michael Bolton's. With a little
Michael
time, love,
Bolton.
and tenderness, you too could have balls as smooth as my music. Can I
Rob,
touch you there? Yes. That's what she'll say. Michael Bolton, scrotox.
I am gagged by what I was just the fact that this just flowed out of you like the flowing locks of Michael Bolton is
That's his
equal
ball
parts
ads.
impressive and concerning, Rob.
Yeah.
I feel like you've heard a lot of scrotox ads. Listen, you get a lot more pharmaceutical stuff in the United States than we get up here in Canada, but
Yes.
I feel like you've seen some commercials that I've never seen. You know, I think that he would do a great job. When I didn't even put together the ball and ad part. That makes sense. I was stuck on the baseball part, and I was like, he sang at the he sang the national anthem at like the World Series. But, like that's not like
famously.
Like a lot of people have sang national anthems at baseball games.
Yeah. It's just a lot of these clues we're halfway there. We can't figure out the back half, and that's really what's
but
getting
we
people
got there. Thanks to you.
Tied up.
I prefer the version where he performs ball ads.
He performs
ball
ads.
related. You know, he's like a manscape. He's got a manscaping sponsorship. You know. I love
I'm
that.
Michael Bolton here for the Lawnmower 3.0. Okay. Jenny, so people are trying to figure out what this is. Long pencil hair. Mackenzie says it's the guy from Saved by the Bell.
Which
guy?
Okay, that is a good question.
Because in a crazy way, it kind of works for me because famously that when Zach and Kelly broke up,
oh my gosh,
Jesse and Slater were covering Michael Bolton's famous tune.
Oh,
how am I supposed to live without you?
I mean, we got mentioned last week, so this is living rent free in your head. At this point, this is
I can never
version.
hear that song without thinking of Zach and Kelly's breakup.
Yeah. This is your version of the confirmation bias. Is like everything goes back to this particular scene. This was HUD and Mackenzie working together on trying to figure out someone who was popular in the 90s is like the two dumb bitches going literally or exactly whatever that meme is. But because HUD goes pencil hair. It's like a haircut. Have you ever heard
of
a pencil haircut?
I feel like back when Kid and Play used to really be well known in pop culture, I think that I'm not sure if it was Kid or Play had a little bit of a pencil hair.
I don't know what that is.
Kid and Play?
Yeah. What's Kid and Play?
Kid and Play. They had the house parties.
What is this from? It was a show?
They were a hip hop group.
Oh.
There was Kid and there was Play.
Oh, this Kid and Play. No, I am not familiar. Okay.
Yeah. And
I mean,
Kid had a little bit of pencil hair.
Yeah, that I guess. But is that that's not like a name of a haircut?
Yeah.
I mean, these outfits are basically back in style.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I was not familiar
Pencil hair.
with this.
But I don't think that
pencil hair's not
I
a
don't know if this was
thing.
Adam's uncle, was Kid from Kid and Play.
No, definitely not. But okay, so back to what you said about who are they talking about when Mackenzie said the guy from Saved by the Bell. Is she talking about like Screech? Talking about
Zach
Dustin
Morris?
Diamond?
I don't know.
Like, would you call
I would
Dustin
not. Maybe
Diamond-
Zach's hair was like so like hairsprayed. Maybe that was giving pencil head.
Yeah, because he did kind of have like the spiky hair.
Mm-hmm.
Was that Mark?
Mark
Is
Paul
that his name?
Gosselaar?
Mark Paul Gosselaar? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I'm trying to see pictures of Zach. No, because it was still kind of more over to the side.
I don't know. Look, what does she know?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, these are the wrong two people to try to figure out someone who their height of fame was in the 90s. Like, I think they're both potentially 2000s babies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. We don't need to spend any more time on what they're thinking. Okay. Now, Danny is starting to, long hair, the world's greatest detective, Danny says, long hair, 90s singer. Oh, it's Axl Rose. There's a Rose on the board.
And that's what keeps happening here is they see a single thing, one thing on the clue wall.
Mm-hmm.
That's enough.
Yeah.
I mean...
And Jenny, we ended on a cliffhanger that Shane's like, no, long hair, 90s.
Rock of Love.
That Rock of Love.
There's a rock and there's a heart.
Yeah. He's going to Bret Michaels. And if these people only knew how close they were with these Celebrity Apprentice winners.
Right. Exactly.
You're right there.
Like they just keep going down that line, and
I believe
you'll get to
Bret
somebody
Michaels,
else's clue.
I believe Bret Michaels and Trace Adkins. I think that they're the alpha and the omega of the season of Celebrity Apprentice that Trace Adkins won, which I believe was All Stars. I believe Bret Michaels was first.
He's the runner up? Oh,
no, he was the first. He came back.
Oh no, it was Pierce Morgan that was the runner up. Sorry.
Yes, and then Trace Adkins won All Stars.
Yes.
And then I believe
the true bookends.
He came back, and he was like a Tina Wesson of that. He came back, I believe. I'm not sure why I remember any of this.
I don't know either, Rob.
I believe he came back and I believe lost on All Stars was the first boot.
Okay. Well, I mean, so are there other Celebrity Apprentice clues aside from the Monkey House Ice?
Well, and you know who else was in that season? LaToya Jackson.
Oh my God.
Dietrich's aunt.
That's what you... So, okay. This is what future players of claim to fame study people who have been on seasons of Celebrity Apprentice.
Mm-hmm.
That is the key because at some point, one of them will be somebody's celebrity relative. Just go down that line. It'll get you somewhere.
It all comes full circle.
Wow. Who knew?
Who knew? All right.
You did, I guess. Of all the shows and things you've covered over the years, you're just holding
so relevant.
on to...
It was like back in 2011. Didn't know how relevant studying the Celebrity Apprentice was going to be. Turned out to have a lot of utility in the rest of my life.
Yeah, I know.
Nobody was more surprised than me.
That it was going to prepare you for so much of your future in ways you could not even fathom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So Jenny, then surprisingly not available to binge anywhere. Every single show available on somewhere on streaming, except that one. That's the one show you can't watch anywhere.
I think that someone made a decision there. I don't know
made
who.
A call.
Yeah. Mainstream media, probably.
Jenny, then there's too many too many celebrities there. Okay, Jenny. So then we had this moment where this is, I think, an iconic reality TV moment. HUD needs to destroy the clues. I feel like he tried to burn them and production said no. You cannot set the
Yeah.
clues on fire. He's like, for some reason, believe me, I tried. You
Yeah, he
can't
said it
burn
like
the
he knew.
clues.
He said it like he knew. Or maybe in a previous point in the game, he tried to do this with something else and he was stopped.
Yeah. So
He
he says,
definitely
okay,
talked like he knew.
I'm going to then put the clues from I'm probably going to lose the clues. I mean, he's not going to lose his notebook. I don't really understand what, like, is he like,
Maybe because it's
could
like,
they
maybe
give
if they
them
had
a
a
folder?
stapler.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah, they need like some sort of, they need like a manila like
A trapper
envelope.
keeper, perhaps, in
Yeah,
season
yeah.
4.
What's a guy got to do to get a duotang, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no way to, like, if you're just slipping the clue into your book and it's not sealed up, then listen, if you're a clumsy guy, I understand. I'm a clumsy gal myself. I
Mm-hmm.
could slip right out of there, and you don't
Yeah.
want to be giving information that's just for you
Yeah.
away to your
I
competitor.
mean, we've seen this happen before, like with Kate in the first season of The Traitors. That, you know, you could
Mm-hmm.
you could drop your paper somewhere. So HUD's like, that's
Yep.
not going to happen to me, not today. So I am going to then take my clues and put them in the blender. And really, you know, these clues have had a lot of these players in the blender, Jenny.
Truly. I mean, you know, Adam himself has everyone in a blender, just his
Mm-hmm.
existence. But yeah, I have so many questions because it's like, okay, so if production didn't want them to destroy the clues by fire, was it just the don't destroy the clues by fire specifically? And this was a loophole? Like, I would
Yes,
think that
I think they
maybe they
said, do
just
not,
didn't want them
don't
to
make a
destroy it at
fire.
all.
I know.
They
I
just
think that
didn't want
they
fire
didn't want to make a
risk.
fire. So I wonder though, did they want somebody to drink this? Because I mean, that if you were just going to make some kind of a smoothie out of the clue, like I guess you could potentially make it like in edit. It seems like that there was like actual food ingredients that were
Yeah,
going into
he put
this.
like he put like fruit and like peanut butter and like almond milk or whatever, and it did look disgusting actually. This is how I imagine the conversation went with production, where he's like, I'm gonna lose these clues and I want to get rid of them. Can I just like burn them? And they're like, no, you
Hmm.
can't do that. And he's like, oh, God, if I rip them up, it's gonna take forever. And then like someone could find them and put them together. And then he's
Yeah.
just like, um, okay, I have an idea. Would you guys like care if I blended them up, like used the blender like a shredder? And they're like, okay, yeah, I'd love to see you
Yeah.
do that.
I
Like
think it
they're
might
like,
also tie
like
back,
this will
Jenny,
make good
to
TV.
some stuff that we were talking about with Hugo and Olivia of like, okay, there's only certain rooms that you're allowed to go, like that they can film you in, and so like you might want to go out back and like make a fire. Like no, you're like you can do whatever you want
No,
to the clue,
we're
but
not doing outside filming
yeah,
today. Yeah,
you do whatever you want in the kitchen. Okay, I was like,
yeah,
I don't know, I
yeah.
guess
If
I
you can
can
find
blend
a
it.
way to get rid of these using the kitchen only and not trying to start a fire in the oven,
Yeah,
then go at her.
yeah,
And he's like, you know, a blender is kind of like a shredder for food.
think about it.
So why not? And they're like, sure. I would love to see how this turns out.
Yeah.
I honestly was surprised that it worked as well as it did.
It seemed like it worked pretty well. And so I was making me nervous. He was like sticking like a ladle into the top of the blender. But I guess if you don't get it that far down, you'll be okay. Here
Because
comes
it's not
Adam.
on. Yeah.
And he tells Adam, he doesn't even try to give a cover story to Adam. He's like, hey, I'm blending clues. He's like, all right, well, let me drink some of these clues. Now, we have seen on Survivor before, especially international Survivor. Did Danny also do this in Survivor 44 of that?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that I don't want anybody to find the hidden immunity idol clue. I'm going to eat it.
Yeah.
But nobody's ever drank it.
This is why claim to fame is just nobody's doing it like them.
Mm-hmm.
I have eaten paper, but
Yep.
not a lot of it. And it's not something that I feel like I would want to do. And I feel like the stuff the clues come on, it's like it's fairly thick paper, is it not? Like, I
Yeah.
feel like it's not, maybe not quite like cardstock, but it's definitely like thicker than like your normal, like printer paper. I feel like that's not something I would really want to eat a lot of, and that it would be hard to blend up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I guess just that's the it's like, when people stick things in their body
Okay.
for crime, you know?
Yes, for crime.
When for criminal reasons, smuggling. That's just where the brain goes. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, well, they can check my pockets, they can check all of my stuff.
Yeah.
They can't check my digestive tract.
Interesting. Okay. I see. I thought you were
That's
saying
where the
that like
brain goes.
maybe there was like one place that HUD could have hidden the clues that nobody would have checked.
I think that there probably was, but for
And
whatever reason, that wasn't good enough,
and
and it wasn't certain.
if you can't read between the lines, I'm talking about his gadonka-donk.
Yeah. Or he could just tuck it in
What?
his
Oh,
undergarment, and give himself some scrotox.
Scrotox. That's right.
It's like the poor man's scrotox. A million paper cuts to the balls. I apologize.
Be
I'm
careful. Please be careful.
Please.
Yes. That's why Michael Bolton swears by the Lawnmower 3.0. Absolutely, positively, zero paper cuts to the balls.
None necessary.
Yes.
Oh.
And if you act now,
I would.
they'll send you the
sad,
lotion. Yeah.
What a sad journey for. I love this. Like, we've created this narrative that this is actually what he's doing with his time now.
Okay. When I'm not visiting Kelly Clarkson or singing the national anthem, there's only one thing I'm doing.
I'm taking care of my balls. I'm manscaping the day away.
All right. Adam is worried. He realizes that it's at this moment when I see HUD blending the clues, then I know he may have pulled my clue.
Yeah. I guess that's like a reasonable thought for him, but it seemed like what HUD was blending, maybe he was blending everything he had, but I thought what he was blending were the 2 clues he got from the challenge. It didn't seem like he was getting rid of like the wine room clue, but I don't know, because they're always opening their books in front of people and they write like the clue down in their book. It's like, I just am very confused about why that was the particular moment that Adam was
that might just
worried.
be production trying to pull it out of him.
What did you think was going on here?
They might have to pull it out of him later. But I kind of
if
thought
he hit it the way that he could have.
I thought we were gonna get a moment, Jenny, where he was gonna like from the smoothie and then like pull something out and be able to like, wait, what?
Yeah, I know. I know. I was like, how much did he rip these apart? What do you think if it was his clue, the one that we have deciphered? What one like symbol do you think if Adam saw it was like, oh, that's definitely for me? Because you're not going to get the whole piece.
Be the ball.
The ball.
He's like, wait, oh, my uncle. That they know. They know.
Balls.
No, in all seriousness, I think the 90.
Yeah. Could be. Could be, but like again, does Adam? I don't know. Does he know? But I love that thought. It'd be very funny if he just like hacks up a piece and like unfolds it, and it's like, "You've betrayed me."
HUD,
I know that ball anywhere.
There's a baseball. Okay. And then we kind of talked through the guess off. We did get the reveal that Adam drank the clues, which Franklin said was Constipation Station. Seems like a battle that Franklin seems to have waged himself at some point.
Listen, I'm telling you, if you've been there, he's speaking like a man that has unfortunately been there and
Mm-hmm.
doesn't want
Yeah.
anyone else to go through that.
We got a unanimous vote. HUD would have been the tiebreak vote. Everybody voted for Danny, hoping that because Mackenzie was worried about Shane having her clue, did not want to potentially, I guess, have. I guess she didn't care. Why did they ultimately go with Danny?
I don't know, to be quite honest, because I really think that
Considering they
have
knew
known,
Danny's identity, right? So,
and
like, wouldn't you want
exactly,
Shane to guess?
and they knew that Shane was working with Danny. So if even under the idea that they had the right information,
Yeah.
wouldn't it have been better for them to have Shane incorrectly guess and then go out because no one knows who Shane
Yeah.
is?
Yeah.
And
I,
unless they're holding something in the edit that somebody actually knows something about Shane and they're secretly holding it as their own layup when the
yeah.
time comes, because I just don't
Or,
know
yeah, I guess
why.
they feel like, okay, well, Shane's clue is still in the wine cellar, so I could still get that and get him tomorrow. But I feel like that, Mackenzie sort of like had it confirmed that Shane thinks she's the wrong person. So wouldn't you want to keep him in? But then Danny was going to go guess the same thing that now Shane still has her clue and is going to know that it is not Blake Shelton.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It
I
seemed
just
like
think,
they knew Danny. I don't know why they didn't want
yeah.
Shane to be
And
the guesser.
also, if Danny survives, if Shane goes out here, um then all three of them have Danny as a potential like layup if they're in the guessing situation next week.
Yeah.
Um I wonder if Adam was maybe thinking that, okay, knowing his clue and Shane's clue would have been the ones in the wine room. If he was thinking, because the two clues would have had to be, we would have gone down to one clue no matter what. I was just trying to think, like, does he think that Shane going isn't good because he wants Shane's clue still in there so that someone would take Shane's and not his? But
I don't know.
if he knows that HUD took his or Shane's, then it's only down to one anyway, so that wouldn't make sense. Yeah, I don't know. The more we talk about it, unless someone has good information on Shane, I don't know why they wouldn't set up Dan or Shane over Danny.
We'll find out, I guess. Maybe there's no good reason, or if you have a theory, let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Franklin tells us in this episode, hey, the finale is around the corner. We're thinking there's 2 nights left of Claim to Fame.
Yeah.
2 weeks left.
I'm thinking our finale is going to be August 28th.
Okay. We said we were going to do power rankings earlier in the show. Let's just knock them out real quick. Who's in the worst position? Who's the least likely to be the winner?
Wow, that's hard. I mean, who has the most clues out there? I mean, do we think it's maybe Adam now that I know that I literally just made a case earlier
I
that
think
it could
he
be
has a
Adam.
shot to win. And I think that this is sort of like a level playing field. But I think that Adam, while he knows things, I think is going to be the least likely person to get any help, either to win competitions in the end or to then I guess, do you get to pick if you're the guesser or
yes, but if you in the final, you get to choose whether you're the whether you're the guesser or you're being guessed.
Mm-hmm. The problem is he kind of knows stuff, and then also nobody knows him, so makes him kind of dangerous here in the end game.
This is actually a really hard to do power rankings for, because I almost, based on what Shane says at the end of this episode, about now Danny's gone and he's on to maybe thinking it's Brett Michaels.
Yeah,
that concerns me for Shane next week, because what if they continue to try and get Adam, and also another thing to note, maybe I'm reading into things that aren't important, but at the guess off, I don't know if it was Franklin or Kevin, but they acknowledged, Shane, you're always here in the bottom. You're always in the guessing position. But I don't think he's guessed anyone yet,
Mm-hmm.
but he's in the bottom 2 a lot. So that made me, like, the fact that they included that, I was just like, is that going to continue on next week? Is Shane going to be our guesser next week? Is he also going to incorrectly guess Adam? Because I just thought it was interesting that they finished up that show, or that, like, this episode with Shane discussing Adam incorrectly based on what we know. And again, I guess we're talking from the perspective of people that feel like we've very much figured out who Adam is. If the casual viewer that isn't, like, listening to podcasts and not doing any of their own investigating don't know who Adam is related to, then maybe that's not, like, a big red flag to be like, uh-oh, Shane's in trouble. But I just think that that's interesting that they're showing Shane being wrong to end this episode. Like, that's kind of like,
I think you could do these power rankings in any
order.
But do you think Shane is should be last?
I think maybe Shane, but maybe even HUD, which is crazy.
See, I feel pretty good about HUD. I feel like that HUD I might have, like, in the top spot, because I feel like that he's very well liked, and I feel like that even, who do we think? Do we think that Adam has a theory about HUD, which we don't even?
That's what I'm most worried
know for
about.
Sure.
I'm most worried that Adam actually does know from the clue that he got.
But he also thinks he knows Mackenzie. And so if he goes into the guess off next week.
Yeah.
Like, what will he guess? I feel like he's more likely to take out Mackenzie than HUD.
But what if he's right?
We have no idea. So basically, all right, it's a flat-footed tie. Anybody could win, and anybody could be out next.
I think it really just depends on what other information comes out in the next challenge. I think, because at this point, that people know a little bit about everyone. I think really someone's going to get Shane's clue unless Shane wins next week. That would be great for him. But that makes me feel like I can't put Shane at the bottom. I don't know. It's really, really wild. I don't know enough about how much these people know. And they've done a fun thing with the edit this season where they're not revealing too much about what everyone knows at certain points, and they're using the flashback kind of editing style which I think makes it a little bit more fun for us, because if we know someone knows certain things about certain people, then it's like kind of just waiting for the inevitable. So that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe someone knows a lot about Shane or has, like, a really good guess on Shane, and it just hasn't been said yet because it's not relevant to the storyline yet.
All right. Jenny, only 2 weeks left, we think.
Yeah, we think.
It's been a fun ride.
Yeah. It's been very, very fun. It's been a quick ride, but it's been really enjoyable. And I just love this show. It's just, even, like I said, even knowing who pretty much everyone is, there's still a fun little puzzle every week trying to go through these challenges. I don't know. I'm still having a really great time with this show. And I'm with you. If they want to do it shorter, give us 2 a year.
2 a year. Come on,
Jonases.
Don't be stingy, ABC.
Yes, please.
Jenny, what's coming up for you?
Honestly, at this point, just kind of seeing where Claim to Fame takes us. Yeah, just it's been a summer.
Yeah,
it's been a summer, Rob.
Well, check out our conversation with Olivia and Hugo if you missed that. And we'd love to hear your theories of anything that we missed in the comments, in the YouTube comments for this video as well. Thank you so much for joining us here once again, talking Claim to Fame. And hopefully we'll also get to talk to some of these players after the season is over as well. Knock on wood. Thank you so much for joining us. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.